their mind to come up with fantastic scenes. You can tell a tale that is about anything. You can dream of new worlds. You can explore, create your world however you like. So pick up your trusty pens. Come on along, my friends. Your own imagination is making a creation, so let's have some fun. Something awesome this way.
Your own imagination is making a creation. 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 Your own imagination.
This is the story of 5 aliens picked to live in a house, work together, become a family, and have their lives filmed for the universe to see. Welcome to the real universe! Meet Soshin, the blue hybrid alien. She is a hybrid of an ocean alien and a human. Soshin's father died when she was young, so Soshin's mother had to take care of her. But one night, everything changed. Soshin couldn't breathe underwater anymore, so she had to survive on her own. She's now 16. She has a great life with other land aliens. Let's see how she adapts with a new land alien family.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Annabelle. She was very, very small, but she found out when she was around people, she grew taller. One day, people were getting ice cream, and she got some too. As she ate ice cream, she grew taller and taller. Everyone was scared. And Annabelle began to cry. She got thirsty and drank all of the water. And got smaller again. The end.
His name was Barney. When he was young, he was the size of a regular boy. Then one day he started shrinking down, smaller than a dollhouse toy. Smaller and smaller, he slowly grew, till he was smaller than a pinky toe. He couldn't stay at home, so he escaped out into the woods, you know. He had to live off ant scraps and avoid puddles and traps. The woods was not his home, but there he'd have to stay. He'd had to learn to be brave, to keep himself from the grave. He's not a real ant, babe, he wasn't born this way. Ooh, he's not a real ant, babe, he wasn't born this way. Ooh, he's not a real ant, babe, he wasn't born this way. Don't be afraid and just believe. With your own power you can achieve. Don't be afraid and just believe. With your own power you can achieve. The biggest threat in the woods, it seemed, was a big brown grizzly bear. He hated ants because they ate his food. He chased them and gave them a scare. One day he got a whiff of Barney's scent and mistook him for an ant. He got so angry that he chased Barney, so quickly he began to pant. Barney created a way to beat the bear that day. He loosed a leaf and the wind and he flew away. Up to the clouds he flew until for certain he knew he found a safe place to land where he was happy to stay. He found some ants that were nice. They gave him helpful advice and they all lived together eating berries and rice. Barney was different than them, but they remained his best friends. They were happy together. You know how this song ends. Don't be afraid and just believe. With your own power you can achieve. And just like Barney, you can find a place to give you peace of mind. Don't be afraid and just believe. With your own power you can achieve. And just like Barney, you can find a place to give you peace of mind. Ooh, he's not a real ant, babe, he wasn't born this way. Ooh, he's not a real ant, babe, he wasn't born this way.
Welcome to the real universe! Meet a little alien named Veroni. He likes to eat bananas with candy. He helps people for school. Can Veroni's helpful personality survive this drastic change? Let's find out. Once upon a time, there was a chocolate Dalmatian named Ruffs who moved to Candyland to work for the King Candy. In reality, he really just wanted to eat a lot of candy, but he made friends with the king and became very loyal to him.
Good dog.
One night on Halloween, King Candy wanted a party, but Ruffs wanted to go trick-or-treating. So, they decided to make a deal. King Candy's spies would take Ruffs trick-or-treating, and the king would stay and attend to his guests.
It's a good plan, if I say so myself.
Ruffs decided before trick-or-treating he would go to a movie that started at 12:37 p.m. All of King Candy's guests lined up, but the king didn't know that there was an evil cat burglar disguised as a guest.
Meow. When he isn't looking, I will kidnap the king. Meow. And turn him into an evil cat like me. Meow.
Will Ruffs and the king's spies find out about the cat's plan in time? To be continued.
There once was a Catwoman named Catwoman. She fights to protect the Earth's moon when the aliens come, because that is where the aliens want to change humans into other aliens. Catwoman is perfect for the job because she can claw at the aliens and scare them away.
Hurry! Let's go back to our planet before Catwoman scratches us!
But after the aliens leave, the mayor of Earth thanks her by forcing her to clean up the aliens' mess.
Thanks, Catwoman. Now, can you clean up the trash the aliens left behind?
The moral of the story is, a superhero's work is never done.
One day I was on a plane with my arch enemy going to Italy. In the middle of the flight, the engine gave out and the plane crashed. And me and my enemy were knocked out. While we were knocked out, everybody left. When we woke up, we were on a deserted island. We were so scared, and over time we made a pact and became friends. We chopped down trees and built a tree house and a water system and a fishing system. And we were doing very good until the Titanic came. It was floating slowly towards us. We thought that thing sank centuries ago. Thankfully, living on a deserted island and learning how to survive came in handy in that moment. We got our handcrafted speedboat out and sped away. We slowed the boat down and turned around,
only to see the island was engulfed in flames.
Then there was a big boom, and the island was completely black because of all the smoke. We fell asleep, and when we arrived, we were in Italy. We spent the rest of our lives in Italy and lived happily ever after.
Once upon a time, there was a tiny fairy with big, pink, beautiful wings. Her name was Star, and she lived in a tree house with all her tiny fairy things. Her best friend was a fox named Lily who came calling for Star one day. Star wasn't home, so Lily went searching in the forest that was far away. There she was, poor tiny Star. She was surrounded and terrified, but Lily was a fox after all, so she was ready to be sneaky and sly. Oh, there were snakes, snakes, scary snakes. Snakes were everywhere. Snakes, snakes, scary snakes, but she got her out of there. They headed back to the forbidden forest, the place that they call home. To celebrate that they were safe and happy, they bought an ice cream cone. It was too big. Star used her magic potion to shrink the tree down to size. They sat together to share the ice cream, but their friendship was the real prize. Star and Lily, Lily and Star finished their tiny ice cream. They went to bed full and happy, and then they had a dream about snakes, snakes, scary snakes. Snakes were everywhere. Snakes, snakes, scary snakes, but she got her out of there. She was her hero, she was her friend, and they lived happily ever after. The end.
Welcome to the real universe! Meet Fred, who hails from Mercury. One day, Fred decided to go to Earth. At first, he had no friends. Then he went to a cool party and met so many new friends. He went to school, bought a house, and got a job as a video game designer. Then his girlfriend came to Earth and they got married and have 2 kids. In his free time, he hangs out with his family. Now, for the next 12 weeks, Fred will hang out with a new family.
Once upon a time, there was an agency where 2 very special dogs lived, and their names were Agent Ruffs and Agent Ice Cream. And this is the story of how those 2 became legends. It was a normal day. They were training when an alarm sounded. The speakers went on saying,
"Cat invasion! We need backup! King Candy has been kidnapped!"
All the dogs started running. Everyone was panicking. Soon enough, it was just Ruffs and Ice Cream. All alone, they started running out too. Turns out their little walk would turn into a rescue mission. They were walking on a path with big oak trees and a spring breeze when they came across some cats carrying a large sack. They froze. All they could sense was pure evil. So they went the other way. Then they bumped into a strange man from another agency close by. It was strange his body was made entirely of popsicle sticks. He said, and introduced himself as Popsicle, offering to take them to a safe place, under the conditions that Candyland was on lockdown. Popsicle asked if they had seen any cats. They said they had, and that they were carrying a large sack. He asked where they saw them. We saw them. They told him it was just down the other path, headed into the forest. He darted down the path and disappeared into the forest. They followed to see why he was in such a rush, and when they got there, he was fighting those cats. When he was knocked out, it was up to them. They were the ones who had to stop the cats. They hadn't seen the dogs yet, so they started planning. The plan was for Agent Ruff to be the distraction because Ruff was trained for fighting and Ice Cream was going to rescue the king. So with that, they saved the king.
Oh, thank you very much.
And they were famous. Do you have what it takes to be an agent?
Hi, I'm Nico, but I'm not a normal kid. I'm 3 inches tall. What? Let's back up, and let me tell you how I got this height. One day I was in my tiny home. I went for a hike and saw something glowing. I said to myself, I'm gonna see what that is. So I went to see it and it was mushroom. So I picked it up and went back to the castle and told the chef to cook it, and he did. When I ate it, things started to get big. Till everything was huge, it took me a minute. Till I realized I was only 3 inches tall. And the really bad part was the whole kingdom made it so everyone was tiny and tried to do things, but they were too small and couldn't. So they moved to the rainforest, but they ate all their food. Everyone was panicking. I said, My people, I'll find food for us. So I walked to try and find some food, but I could not. But I kept looking and eventually I found it, but there was too much and I didn't know how to get the food. Eventually I thought I'll build a hill to my village, and I did. I dug and I dug and I dug till I got to the village, and the village was saved. I dug and I dug and I dug and I dug, and this is how I became the 3-inch kid. Oh yeah, the 3-inch kid.
Welcome to the real universe! This is Frank. Frank usually watches alien TV and eats spaghetti all the time. He abducted people for a job, turned those people into spaghetti, and scared them. Can our bad boy handle 12 weeks with no incidents? Doubtful.
Me and my brother were on a deserted island and there was no way out. We tried everything. We tried using a boat. And nothing worked because there was a huge storm every time we tried. One day, everything changed. I woke up and it was very sunny, but the boat was gone. Oh, it must have been because we tried to get out so many times, but it was stormy every time, so the boat floated away. When suddenly there was a rustling sound coming from the bushes, and we feared the worst. Oh, snakes! But then out popped a dog. There was a dog on this deserted island. He was a dirty brown spotted dog, and he looked very tired and scruffy. So we picked up the dog and we put him in the ocean to wash him off. The dog's name was Rocky. So we dried Rocky up and we played with him a lot until he started playing with us a lot too. He was hot, so we got him some water. We were looking for dog food and we finally found it. Yep, it was in the tent room. We made a bowl out of sticks and put the dog food in it. It was a nice day.
I walked to the grocery store and I saw the coolest toy ever. And it was a sparkly, rare unicorn. So my mom let me buy the toy, and I played with it all day. I never stopped until it breaks. When it broke, she got so mad. She told her mom, "The sparkly unicorn broke." And the mom said, "How did it break?" "I dropped it when I was on my bed and it broke." And she stayed away from her mom for a very long time. I stayed away from my mom because she was so mad, because the unicorn was $100. So my mom made me pick up all the dog poop for a week, and I was grounded.
Welcome to the real universe! Last, but definitely not least, there's little baby Lily. For dinner, Lily always had lollipops and candy. Lily loves school because her teacher is a lollipop. Removed from school and added to this new alien family, Lily may have to grow up faster than she planned. Can she keep that baby innocence for the whole 12 weeks? Let's wait and see. Find out what happens when aliens stop being polite and start getting real. In the real universe! Coming soon.
Built our city. He built our city for tall people. Built our city. He built our city for tall people. There was a tall person when everyone saw him. They got scared of how tall he was. They thought he was Bigfoot. So he decided to stop living in the city. He built his own city for tall people in the sky. Flying out the garden, that was where he had to work. Did
The others forgot Bobby had to come back down for work. So they made the roof shorter, so Bobby didn't fit. So he went back to his city and just stayed in his home. He stayed there